Okay, so we are ready to cast on our socks, 2 at a time, toe up. I've got my 2 balls of yarn. I've got my needle, and this is just the ball band. This is what I'm using so that you guys can see what I'm doing rather than using finger weight yarn. So we're going to get started. So first thing we're going to do is take our 1 strand of yarn, and we're going to cast on. So we're just going to go like this, and then all I want you to do is to apply pressure on that needle or on that yarn, and then scoop it towards you like that. I'll do that again. Like this, towards you, like that. I'll do it one more time. Down, scoop it towards you, like that. Okay? And then grab your other needle, having that on the bottom, like this. And we are going to use our index finger, and we're going to go in between like this, and then our thumb is going to go in between and over like that, and we're going to do 4 stitches on each side. So index finger comes up and through, thumb goes in between and over, index finger goes up and through, thumb goes in between and over, and then index finger goes up and through. So we got 4 stitches on each needle, and then just cross them over. They're going to come unraveled, but I'll show you what to do with that later. And scoot those over. You want to keep them on your needle though, okay? Then you're going to get all that out of the way. Grab your next tail. Again, we're just casting on 4 stitches. So we're going to do the same thing. And if you don't get the hang of this, if that's not what you want to do, you can just do a slip knot. It's up to you. So again, I'm just going to apply that needle on the yarn, scoop it towards me, and there we go. And now I'm going to use my index finger to go over like that, and then my thumb to go in between. Hang on 1 second. And then use my thumb to go in between and over, index finger up and over, thumb in between and over, index finger up and over, thumb in between and over, index finger up and over. Okay? So now, just give them a twist. Okay, so now what we need to do is take our needles and turn them like this. But when we do that, we also need to rotate our yarn. So that one goes over there. This one comes over here. And we've rotated our needles, and our yarn is happy because it's all in one place. Okay? So now we're going to take our 1 sock, and what I want you to do is just to twist that yarn like this, so that you can hold the tail end in your hand like that. Okay, we want to just keep that out of the way. And now you're going to grab your bottom needle, you're going to pull that out, and we're going to knit these 4 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, done. Now we're going to look at this needle, and we're going to slide up those stitches And the same thing, we're just going to take those two ends, don't pay attention to those, pay attention to these two, and you're going to twist them again so that your, there we go, twist them like that, and then make sure that you're holding on to that end. There's the working yarn, and this is the tail. And the same thing, now we're going to knit those 4 stitches. Now if you were doing a full sock, you might be doing 16. So 1, 2, 3, 4. There we go. So now we're going to let that needle drop. We're going to rotate our stitches back to here, facing this way. We also have to take our yarn and move those in the right location. And now what we need to do is take our needles and position them so that they both are together again. Like that, okay? And then move up our stitches. Now I wanted to show you something, how you know, something to be mindful of is, because you could pick up your knitting and pick it up this way, that's the wrong side. If you see knit ridges, that's the wrong side. You want to stick to this side, which you'll see is stockinette. See that? Okay, so now we've got to do the top of our stitches. So again, same thing, we've got our yarn, it's all happy, it's this is living in this home, this yarn's living in this home. We're going to just get our tail out of the way, holding it, grab our bottom needle, go into the top, and knit those 4 stitches. Okay, that's done. Drop that yarn, come over to this one, and now look to see where your tail is. There's my tail, so I'm just going to hold that out of the way. I'm going to put my needle in that first stitch, and I'm going to grab my working yarn, and I'm going to knit those 4 stitches. Okay, now we're going to drop that needle, rotate our work, rotate our yarn so that everybody's in this right house, right? And now we're going to pull our needles together like this. And now we're all set up to do our first increase round. So they're facing the same right way, not that way, that's the ridges, facing the right way. We got our needles lined up here. So for this demonstration, we're going to do a knit in the front and the back instead of a make one left and a make one right. If you want to do make one left and make one right, go right ahead. Okay, so you don't really have to worry about this yarn anymore. But be mindful that you don't grab the wrong end. So we're going to grab our bottom needle, we're going to go into that top stitch, and we're going to do a a knit in the front and knit in the back. And then we're going to knit across. And knit in the front and knit in the back. And then we're going to put that aside, go over to this needle, scoot that up like that, grab the right end of yarn. There we go. There, we're ready to go. And now we're going to do a make one. Now, the one thing I wanted to show you, and I'll show you that right now, is you kind of want to start bending your knitting, like bending those stitches. You just kind of want to bend that a little bit so that when you go to do your knit stitch, you're actually pulling that so that cloth is coming together, that knitted material. And we're supposed to knit in the front and knit in the back. There we go, one increase, and knit in the front and knit in the back. And there we go. So again, we are now going to turn our work so the needles are facing this way. That also means we have to turn or rotate our yarn so that everybody's living in the right house. Make sure our yarn's facing the right way and pull our needles together and put them on the needle like that. And there we go. So now we're going to do the increases on this side. And again, want to just start taking the two, like the cord and the needle, somewhat together when you go to create your first stitch. So I just like to go like that. There. And now I'm just going to do a knit one in the front, knit one in the back. And knit to the end of the row. And same thing, knit into the front and knit into the back. Drop that yarn, go to the next one, and grab the right tail or the right yarn. There we go. And again, just kind of put them together like this. Put your needle in and same thing, knit into the front, knit into the back, and knit till you get to the end, and then knit into the front and knit into the back. There we go. Again, drop your knitting, rotate your needles, rotate your yarn, and pull your needle. There we go. And make sure that your knitting is facing you correctly. And everybody's in their own home. There we go. You can go over there. I'm going to play with you. Okay, so back these on the needles. And now we're going to do an even round. So that's the tail. We're going to pull out that bottom needle. We're going to just put these two together like this. And we're going to grab that needle, and we're just going to do a regular knit stitch, one round of plain knitting. And just want to give that a good pull. And there we go. And then drop that one. And go over to this one. Yeah, see? You gotta just watch your needles to start with. There we go. Bring you back over here. There you go. Hello. Okay. Grab your right yarn. Nope, that's the end. See? Get that out of the way. There we go. Again, start laying them kind of on top of each other so that you can, when you go to knit, you're snugging that up now. This is the beginning of your toe. And there we go. Now we're going to drop that needle, turn our work, and we're going to rotate our yarn. Make sure everybody's in their separate space. And pull your needles together. Make sure everything's facing the right way. Yep, see? That's stockinette, we're good. And now we're just going to pull those together, or press those together, I guess is what I should be saying. Like that. Pull that needle. It's always the bottom needle. Always pull that bottom needle. And now we're going to give that, with that folded like that, we're just going to give it a good snug. Like that. And we're going to knit those stitches across. See, look at that. Look, got a little toe happening. Okay, and now we're going to drop that one. Grab this one. Same thing. Make sure you've got the right yarn. And again, just lay them kind of on top of each other like this. Grab your needle. Put it in. Grab your yarn and just snug that up, you know, give it a good snug, because this is creating now the side of the toe. Just give it a good snug first couple stitches. And there we've come to the end of the toe. And now we're going to rotate our needles again. And we're going to rotate our yarn. Everybody's in their home. And we want our needles facing the right direction. There we go. Pull our needles. Put them on the needles. Like that. There we go. And like that. And look, You got a little toe forming. Look at that. Look at that. So there you go. So now what we're going to do is we're going to keep doing this. We're going to increase with a knit front and back on either side every other round until we get to 32 stitches total, which will be 16 on each side. And yeah, oh, the other thing I wanted to let you know is that when you go to pull out your needle like this and you go to knit, I want to show you something. So when you put that needle in and you pull, do you see by tightening up this yarn, you are making that loop the diameter of the cable. So I want you to be aware that after you have knit the stitch, let's just say I've knit that stitch, and I now go to, oh, I almost pulled the wrong one. Don't tell me I haven't done that before. When I go to put that stitch on the needle, don't be surprised if it's causing you a bit of resistance, because the needle tip is a lot bigger than the cord. And in my case, it's really a lot bigger because the needle size, but that won't be as drastic a difference on your needles that you're going to use to make your actual socks. So I just wanted to point that out. But yeah, exciting. So just, you know, when you're starting this, the takeaways I would tell you is keep everybody in their separate space, you know, over here, rotate. Be mindful of your ends, you know, keep those separate and hold on to them in the beginning, and make sure that you're always seeing the stockinette on this side facing you, not the purl bumps, which are on the inside. And there you go. So try that out. And if you have any questions, just pop in at the knit along, which is Monday nights at 5 o'clock Pacific time. And I'd be happy to help you. Happy knitting. Bye.